So today I thought we'd do 5 tips for beginners. By beginners I mean like people that are quite new to the game, but even if you're not new, you might actually learn something from this video. So if you're not new, keep watching it anyway, and leave a like, why not? But anyway, I've got kind of 5 main points to go over, and then I kind of got a few sub ones to go over as well, so there's a lot of stuff to learn in this video, and I don't want to make it too long, so we'll try and smash them out. Let's get into this. So, starting off with this map here. So, as you can see on screen, there are 4 different maps. I'm missing Broken Moon on this one because I couldn't find the diagram. This one is a couple years old, but it does explain what I want to explain really well. You see the different colours on the map, that explains the loot rarity in them POIs, and I don't know if a lot of people actually know that different POIs have different loot rarities all around. So it's normally the outer edge has the purple loot, which is the harder to find loot. Obviously you get purple shields, so you get more of the purple shields, purple mags, stuff like that in these purple zones. Then you go into the more middle zones of the maps and you get the blue ones, which are kind of rare, and then you also get the white ones occasionally that will have very little loot at. And the people that play always want to try and land at these higher ones, but I wasn't sure that new players would even know that certain zones have certain rarities of loot, because it's actually a thing that not a lot of people ever discuss or think about. But if you do want to have a look at the current ones, you can just go on Google and search for the map you want and then loot zones, and someone would have made it somewhere, normally on Reddit or something like that. But yeah, they are out there. So the next one we're going to go over is the best guns in the game. Now I'm talking the best guns in the game in terms of they are the best. Like if your favourite gun isn't in this list, it doesn't mean that it's not good for you, it means that it's not the best gun in the game. All guns on this game are viable to a certain extent, and but these are the best ones that you want to be aiming for and trying to be good with. So, starting off here, we have the R99, which is currently in the crafter, I know, but a lot of people still craft the thing, and it is easily the best submachine gun in the game, if not the best gun. The best AR in the game is the Nemesis, and the Nemesis is still amazing after it recently got a slight nerf, but it doesn't actually feel like changed at all. Then onwards from there, we have the R301, the Flatline, the Prowler, the Car, the PK, and the Wingman. Now for me, that's the top tier guns in the game. So you could say some others could be in there. The Charge Rifle's a very, very strong weapon. The Volt is a very strong weapon, but for me, these guns are the best ones in the game. So what I'm saying here is that if you want to try and be getting good at the game and playing better, you want to be using these weapons, you want to be getting better with these weapons, and you want to be looking for these weapons off drop when looting. So the next one's going to do with dropping out of the dropship. Now, did you know that the fastest way down is between 400 and 500 meters? So I always try and jump between those numbers, and then you drop down and you can go in a straight line down without dipping and diving and hit 150-ish on the speed limit thing on the left there. As you can see, I have 150.5 right now, and I'm getting down in front of these teams, which means ultimately I can get a gun before them and be ready to shoot them before they're ready to shoot me. So that's not saying that you can't travel more than 400 or 500 meters away. You can travel thousands of meters if you want to. Now, on Storm Point here, I wanted to go to the mill as an example, and how I would do this is I would try and stay in the dropship as long as I could, so the point where I was at the closest to it. So I was just below Cascades, I decided was probably the closest I'll be, which is about 1100, 1000-ish meters. Now the way you want to do this, if you want to dip down and you want to try and hit that at high 40s, kind of the 145 range, then you want to just level out until you get to the low 130s. And you continue doing that over and over again, and eventually, because you do dip down and get the speed and then you quickly level out, it's the same as any kind of plane works, I guess, but it's how you travel 1000 meters if you want to get to a certain POI and the dropship is miles away from it. So just another quick one, when you're flying down as well, you can look at the mini-map in the top left as I've zoomed in a bit here, and you can actually see who's around you. Now this kind of really helps when you get close to the ground and you can see exactly what buildings people are landing on and if someone's landing right with you. So my final tip for this little section is when you're dropping down and there's 3 of you kind of joint still and you haven't left your teammate yet, when you're kind of like 100 meters from the floor, you just want to like leave your teammate, not as in fully leave them, but don't land in the same building. Make sure you land in the building that's next to them so you kind of get your individual loot and you're not trying to steal each other's loot and like compete for it. It just ruins it, and it really is annoying for the other player when when you get dropped on. Obviously the jump master can't split, so if you land with the jump master, you're the one doing it wrong. So my next tip is going to be movement. Now Apex is a game that's known for movement. It is one of the best movement games out there, if not the best in my opinion. It's how clean it can be and how many different styles of movement there is. I play on controller and it's still actually quite movement based. You can see this gameplay for me, and I do implement a fair bit of basic movement. If you watch someone like Fade or Ecstasy who play on PC and they're like movement players, they are incredible in the way that they can move around the map, and it's really worth watching sometimes just to learn a bit. But yeah, that's not what we're talking about right now. So Apex movement, there's a few basic rules that you need to know with basic movement. So first of all, running with your loom or your fist out, as I am on screen right now, is faster than with your gun. If you're trying to run away, if you're trying to run anywhere actually, and you have a spare 2 seconds, whip that loom out and it could be the difference between, or fists out, and it could be the difference between you making it around a corner and not. Second one is going to be when you're running, after like, I think it's after 3 steps, you can do implement a slide. So you do like a slide jump, and you can see that guy just did it to me right there, that Octane. If you do a slide jump, you're a slightly smaller target and you kind of glide faster, and it's a faster bit of movement once again. Next is climbing. Climbing on this game is huge. It's built for a lot of areas to be climbable. For example, I'm climbing right there. There's a lot of climbing on this game, and climbing can be the difference between you taking height on someone and winning a 1v1. And honestly, if you think you can climb it, you probably can. 99% of the things on this game are climbable. Even the bigger buildings have climbing routes which you can normally use. Another quick one is the legends on this game all run the same speed as a standard kind of rate. Obviously you have Octane Stim, Bangalore's passive, where it does speed them up, and there's obviously a lot of things that can speed you up in this game, but Gibraltar and Lifeline and Wraith, they all run the same speed. Although the perspective when you're lower down, it makes it look faster, you're not running faster, you're just being a big guy. And it does really look like it, and it looks like you're running slower, but yeah, you are not. The final tip for this little movement kind of one is zip lines. There's a lot of zip lines on this game. There's now evac towers as well. If you don't want to get hit quite as much, it's a bit harder to get shot if you spin when you're going up a zip line. And also you can use zip lines to you can reattach and attach to them, and obviously you can do that 3 times, but it is a useful tip. If you start getting shot a little bit and you just want to quickly kind of get out of the line of sight quickly, you can kind of do that 3 times and then reattach, but don't do it more than that because you will not be able to reattach to the zip line. So my final tip is going to be about your loadout and what you should carry in your bag. I feel like a lot of people struggle with looting on this game, especially getting the grips of it. So I jumped into the firing range and I'm going to show you what a basic bag should look like if you have a white bag, and if you have a fully kitted out kind of purple gold level bag, what it should look like. So first of all, here we have a white bag. Now this is the setup that I'd run all the time. This is my favorite setup at the moment, as a lot of people's favorite setup at the moment, because it's the best 2 guns in the game. But this is kind of what I would run standard with a white bag. I'd have 180 ammo for each one. I'd have 4 bats, 2 medkits, and I either have 8 cells and no syringes, or I have this. It kind of depends on who my teammates are, and I actually don't really like syringes. I'd rather just have a slot open for an arc star. So it's either syringes, arc star, or some cells there. But that is my basic white bag loadout. So now I've changed over to a purple bag, and I have a few more slots open. So this is what I'd run, and this is the kind of a setup I'd want to run into endgame with. As you see, I deleted the syringes off. I don't run many cells, that's just a thing I do. I would happily have 8 cells and 2 nades instead of 3, but for this, I'm going to just stick with this. So all I've done here from the white is I've upgraded bats. I've had 2 more bats. I've had an extra 60 energy ammo because I feel like the Nemesis will be shot more than the 9, just because it's a long range gun and you waste a lot of ammo using the Nemesis. Added a Phoenix kit into it, and obviously you didn't have to be exactly like this. This is just what I run. Some people do like to run more med kits and stuff, but for me, this is the perfect loadout. The ammo types you could kind of swap like a bit of light ammo for there, but as a base, I would say this is the perfect bag. So just off another little topic of the bag and looting, I want to just go over how I think about looting and what I plan before I actually go down. Now, I don't think a lot of people really think about this, and it might be a good tip for some of you. So before I drop into a game, I always have in my head, I want to run one of them few guns from a couple points ago. I was like the R99, the Nemesis, the Car, R301, the higher tier guns in the game. So there's always that in my mind, and that's what I always try and run with. Now, sometimes I won't find these guns for a while. If I want to find them guns, I will run like an alternator and a vault, for example, that holds all the attachments for the guns I want to run, and then eventually I will find the guns I want to run and just swap them out. But there's actually other ways you could do this. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. You find like a purple extended mag off drop, for example, that's right on the screen there. That was good timing. And if I find this off drop, I'd want to find a car or a flatline straight away because they're high tier guns and I already have the highest tier attachment I can have for it. So I would always look for a flatline or a car if I find a heavy mag. And that's the 2 ways you can loot. You don't want to be like picking up every single gun because you're like, oh, that gun's slightly better. You just want to pick a gun and just use the crap out of it until you find the gun you want to use. So that pretty much sums up the 5 tips I wanted to say about it. There's a lot more than 5 tips in there because I felt like I've just spoke for an hour. But I hope that everyone learned something. As I climb this hill here, and I got to show you how I died in this game because I literally got 16 kills off this gameplay. I hit that guy for 199, so he had 1 health left, which made me climb up. Then I realised I was jumping straight into a new castle as well, and I thought, okay, I gotta knock this bang. Then I got a bit cocky because he put his shield on me, and then he literally just clipped me in the head with a hemlock. I literally had 16 kills and 1 knock with 20 people left. That could have been a huge like 30 kill game, but there's me being too cocky with it. And yeah, that's what I get what I deserve on that one. But if you learned anything from this video, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, do what you feel like doing. And if you learned something, just let me know in the comments, please. But thanks for watching, guys, and peace out for now.